Member for Langford, Juan de Fuca.
Oh, thanks very much, Mr. Speaker. What a pleasure to be able to rise in this House and comments from the member across the way. I want to thank my colleague, the member for Burnaby North, for bringing forward this very important motion and for centering us today in this important conversation about how governments must deliver for people. We know that we are in a time, Mr. Speaker, where people are facing big challenges. And I want the people in Langford, Juan de Fuca to know, but also all British Columbians to know, that on this side of the House, they have a government that hears them. They have a government that will work day in and day out to deliver for them. We want people on this side of the House, for British Columbians to know that we've got their back. And to have a member across the way to say that we're not standing up for rural BC is complete nonsense, and she knows that. Mr. Speaker, the members across the way, when they sat on this side of the House, had a philosophy, and that was all around leaving people to fend for themselves. And we know, on this side of the House, that that philosophy never works. They would like nothing more than to be on this side of the House and to leave it to people to fend for themselves. That is the record of the Leader of the Opposition. That was his record when he sat on this side of the House as the Minister of Health, as the Minister of Finance, and the Minister of Red Tape Regulation, whatever you want to call that portfolio. But we also have to remember, I'm not going to spend my... The member for Peace River North won't have to worry. I'm not going to spend much time talking about them and their record because they're irrelevant. This is going to be, for some of them, this is going to be their last weeks in this place. We also have to remember that who was there when they sat on this side of the House? But the Leader of the Conservative Party. Let's not forget the Leader of the Conservative Party was a member of the BC Liberal Party when they called themselves a Free Enterprise Coalition. And so let's talk about their records. Let's talk about the fact that in 2001, 2005, 2009, and 2013, they made commitments to British Columbians. And what did that result in? Massive cuts, deep cuts to the social services that we all rely on. Healthcare, education, skills training, the list goes on and on. They weakened the services that British Columbians rely on each and every day. They made people pay. They increased tolls on bridges. They doubled MSP premiums, a regressive tax, one of the only ones left in the province, in the country at the time. They turned ICBC into a dumpster fire. That is the record of the BC Conservative, BC Liberals, BC UP, doesn't matter what you call them. And what I want to conclude with on this line, Mr. Speaker, is those parties on that side of the House would like nothing more, and they do this in this place and they do this in communities, is to divide British Columbians. We're seeing that from the Leader of the Conservative Party. We see that from the Leader of the Opposition. And again, I want the message to British Columbians to be straight. These are parties, the Conservative Party and the BC UP and others, that would like nothing more than to divide British Columbia, to pit us against one another. Not on our watch. Never on our watch. We're not going backwards. British Columbians, we want you to know that you're not alone. We are going to deliver more homes for people. Just this past week, we opened the largest expansion of affordable housing in my community's history. Do you know how much the BC UP invested in Langford, Juan de Fuca in housing over 16 years? 100 units. How much have we invested in the last 7 years? Over 1,000. Look at that difference. We're going to strengthen public health care. 700 new doctors, thousands of new nurses. What do the BC UP and definitely what the Conservatives want to do? They want to fire Dr. Henry. That's their actions on health care. That's what they want to do. We're going to protect BC from climate emergencies. We have a party in this House that wants to sit on this side of the House that doesn't even believe in climate change, Mr. Speaker. That's the reality of what we're sitting with. We want to build an economy that works for people. That's why we are investing in skills training. That's why we are investing and building a new university in downtown Langford to train the next generation of workers in my community. That's why we're investing more in post-secondary education, supports for industry, supports for small businesses. Because at the end of the day, Mr. Speaker, our belief on this side of the House, and I learned this from my predecessor, is an economy that is built for all is an economy that is built to succeed. That is what is going to drive our work on this side of the House right until the end of our mandate.